In the previous video in the Ginger playlist, I showed the movie Broadway Bad in full, 1 hour long. This is cut to just Ginger scenes for those who prefer a quicker review. Ginger had third billing in her next movie, Broadway Bad, starring Joan Blondell and Ricardo Cortez. This is a very nice movie. Blondell is, as usual, great in her role, and I like Cortez's performance. While Ginger does not have a huge role, it was here Ginger established some new types of roles she would perform again in the future. Some view Ginger's early career as playing chorus girls, and even that Ginger came up through the ranks after starting as a chorus girl. She was never a chorus girl in real life, always in the top-level billing in anything she appeared in, since she first hit vaudeville at 14 years old. As to her roles, she was briefly a chorus girl in Follow the Leader, but by opening night she had the lead. Here, in her 13th movie, is the first of only 4 times she plays a chorus girl throughout the movie. The characterization comes from her next 2 movies, her breakout roles in big movies, 42nd Street and Gold Diggers of 1933. After that, just 2 more times, briefly in Sitting Pretty and in Romance in Manhattan. This is the first appearance of Brawling Ginger. I've always found that funny, because Ginger is tiny. Not short, at 5'4", but so slender she weighed only 105 pounds. Ginger had already established herself as great at playing fast-talking, hot-tempered characters, starting with her role as Babyface in The Tip-Off. Here Ginger adds backing up that temper with action in defense of herself and others, a role she would reprise in later movies. In Stage Door, she threatens the beautiful, but much larger, Gail Patrick. In Vivacious Lady, she has a brawl with Frances Mercer, and again in Roxy Hart, another brawl, accompanied by the sound of cats fighting. She first played the loyal, supportive friend in Hat Check Girl, but that is unavailable, so this is the first time we see Ginger in this role type. Blondell is new, and Ginger protects Blondell throughout the movie. She plays the loyal friend again in future movies. Part of this is a momentary display of her dramatic skills, which in time she proved herself as a very talented dramatic actress. When Blondell tells the court that one, and only one, stood by her when she was totally down on her luck, referring to Ginger, Ginger is excellent, touching, and you can't help but love her character. Joan Blondell had a long and successful career with some leads, but mostly in supporting roles. I think she is great, a real natural in front of the camera. She would appear with Ginger again. Ricardo Cortez almost made it big in the silence, successfully navigated the switch to sound, but soon enough dropped into B-roles and left Hollywood for Wall Street. In the opening scene, the plot is set. Adrienne Ames had been the star in the show and the girl of the rich boss of the show, Cortez. Now she is depressed, having lost both positions to the newcomer, Blondell. Blondell stayed behind at the last location to be with her boyfriend, and her good friend, Flip, played by Ginger, stayed with her. I find it interesting that Ginger's characters so often have memorable nicknames, and I got a feeling Clever Ginger always got her way with this. Blondell's time with her guy, Alan Vincent, gets passionate, and Ginger is worried about her.
Tony! Tony!
Ames is angry and taking it out on Blondell, but Ginger has her back. Ginger is a good friend to Blondell in every way.
Eileen is certainly washed up. He didn't even invite her to the party. Aren't you losing your hair? I am not. Well, you will if you don't stop cracking.
Somebody turn that thing off. I'm tired of hearing that exit march.
Don't you think you better get used to it?
Roses. The old story, I guess. Chorus girl gets the air while thousands yawn. Well, I shouldn't squawk, though. He was a swell guy. Used to send me dividend checks regularly. He handled my money. And was he generous? This was for nothing. And what technique? He used to say, listen, dear, about your career. I don't want to try to force you into anything. Well, when he put it that way...
Gee, I'm afraid we're going to be late.
Craig's parties never start until 1. Give my regards to the cook.
Listen, you, one more crack like that and your neck will probably get tangled up in my fingers. She's plenty burnt up, believe me. Oh, I wasn't thinking about her. I wonder if Craig will mind my bringing Bob. Well, if you're counting on him doing handsprings, you're going to be disappointed. What's he been doing with himself lately? Bob? Oh, he's been busy, studying. I know. With his nose deep in a book. Who took my cold cream?
Telegram for you, Tony.
Thanks. Will you put the roses in water, please? Gee. I sort of expected him this time. Love. The 10th word in a telegram. Cheer up, kid. Wait till you get to that party. With a couple of drinks under your evening gown, you'll forget what town you're in. Say, Flip, what did Eileen mean about those dividend checks? Well, that's one way of putting it. What do you mean? This is your first show. Wait, you'll learn. And that crack she made about his technique. She was trying to rib you. Say, you can ask more questions. I need a clean towel. Get me one, too, will you? We're the only ones here.
Oh, no, you're not. There are millions of people.
Bunny! Oh, he's broadcasting. Hello, everybody. For the past half hour, you've been listening to Swift Goldfob and his Alpine Laddies. Oh, poor Bunny's crying.
Come on, we'll get little Bunny some lettuce.
You want an olive?
There may be a guest or two in here.
Vincent, Blondell's boyfriend, shows up anyway, and Ames uses the opportunity to cause trouble, telling him she is with Cortez, and then giving him a ride to the party. Blondell tells Cortez she is not that kind of girl. He is not going to get anywhere with her, with his gifts and smooth talk. Blondell asks to see her dividend checks, and told Cortez she was so naive she actually thought they were from her small investment. Vincent comes in, reveals he is Blondell's husband, sees the checks, and believes the worst. Blondell begs Cortez to tell her husband the truth, but he does not want to get involved. He always avoids publicity with his womanizing. She goes to Vincent's house to tell him something very important. His father tells her she is through, and Vincent just glares from the staircase. Her divorce and Cortez's involvement is big news. Blondell goes to quit her job in disgrace, but her bosses tell her this notoriety will make her famous and rich. Cortez asks her to contest the divorce to protect his reputation, and she refuses. 4 years later, Blondell is a huge star. Cortez is in the audience to see her. We find out Blondell is selling the expensive jewelry men give her and gets costume jewelry replacements. Ginger rushes in with the warning.
Hey, Joe Flynn's been pumping me about Big Fella. What? Yeah, he wants to know how much dough he's got and about those mysterious weekends of yours. What else does he know? Don't worry, he thinks it's Big Eddie Malone. Oh. But you'd better watch your step. I guess I'll have to move again. Tired of it all? Nope, just tired. Why don't you be a nice girl and go to bed? Where have I heard that before? This ice has certainly gone to your heart. You mean to my bank account? Fast as I get 'em, I turn 'em into money and put it all in a nice little trust fund. That's gonna do you a lot of good. And as soon as it's 200 grand, white lady, she retire. I'm hysterical. I'm practically laughing. I'm gonna give this burg back to the Indians and find a nice, quiet little place where there's no tabloids or dirt.
And now, little kiddies, for the rest of the bedtime story. Once upon a time, there was a prince.
Blondell and Cortez meet outside. She gives her date, a prince, the brush off, and goes off with Cortez. During the cab ride, he is surprised how nice she is being to him. They go to a club and have a nice time. You can see Cortez now has a crush on her, and she sure seems to like Cortez. Of course, she says the scandal of her being seen with him will give her publicity, but it is more than that. We find out her secret weekend fling, the big fella, is her son. Vincent is in the club and in big money trouble with some tough fellows. He and his partner in crime try to figure a way out. Blondell and Ginger are in the ladies' room in the same club.
No, Bixby. Just give him a cup of hot milk. Nothing else. That's right. Good night. Calling Bixby again. That's the third time tonight. How did kids get along before the telephone was invented? Listen, Flip, nothing else is important. You can't imagine how I feel about that baby, because I don't go around telling people. But nothing else matters. When he looks up at me and says, Mommy, oh. But wait till you have one of your own. You'll find out. Come on, let's get back to Craig. How's the paint job? Oh, you're okay, come on.
The only time she lets me talk money to her is in a speakeasy. Then I get cropped and can't talk money.
Hello, Tony. Glad to see you.
Would you like to dance?
After being rejected, Vincent and his partner hire a guy to follow Blondell to her mysterious weekend getaway. They go to the address, ring the bell, and Blondell sees them leaving, but does not know who they are. Blondell has invited Cortez over, and Ginger stops by and hears the news.
Hello, Flip.
Hi.
I phoned your other apartment and Bixby said you were here.
Nice flowers. Who from?
An admirer.
Who?
I bought them myself.
Shall I fix the drinks now?
After a while, Julie. Say, what's going on? Come on, give out. Who are you expecting? Craig. You're kidding. Mm-mm. I invited him last night. You kind of like him, don't you? Uh-huh. Don't know me. You know you like him. How can you tell? Because you're all a Twitter. There he is. I'll go, Julie. You fix the drinks.
I get it. I'll scram through the rear door.
No, it's unlocked.
It's Vincent at the door, asking for money, and when she refuses, telling her he knows the secret address. In a panic, she rushes to the apartment and flees with her son. Vincent is waiting for her on the stairs. He realizes that is his son. She goes to Cortez once again asking for help and tells him about her son. He arranges to get them out of the country. She thankfully gives him a big kiss, and he is thrilled. Too late, Vincent already snatched her son, And now comes the child custody case. Her feigned immoral behavior is now going to hurt her badly.
You base your opinion on Miss Lander's unfitness to care for your son's child.
That's a matter of common knowledge. The woman's notorious. Everybody knows what she is.
I object and I ask that Mr. North's answer be stricken out. Hearsay is not evidence.
This is not hearsay. It can be proven.
Objection overruled.
That is all, Mr. North. Your witness.
No questions.
Your Honor, we rest our case.
Call the next witness.
Miss Landers. Order in the
Raise your
court.
right hand, please. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Be seated, please. What is your name?
Antoinette Landers.
Miss Landers, the child in controversy is your son, is he not?
Yes.
Where was he born?
In a boarding house near the East River.
The house number, if you haven't forgotten it.
I couldn't forget it. 20 East Front Street.
Why did you go there?
Because it was cheap.
And you had very little money?
You mean after I paid all my expenses?
Yes.
About $4.
Did your husband or his father offer you any aid or assistance at that time?
No.
And you had no relatives?
None.
And no friends?
Just one. She was the only one that helped me.
Why didn't you notify your husband?
Because I hated him for what he had done. When I needed him most, he ran out on me.
That is all, Miss Landers. Your witness.
Is the child in court?
Yes, Your Honor, in the anteroom of the matron. Miss Landers, you're on the stage, are you not?
Yes.
Have you any other profession or income?
No.
What is your present salary?
$1,500 a week.
And last year it was...
$500.
In the past 2 years, you've earned approximately $70,000.
About that, yes.
And out of that $70,000, you have thriftily managed to save $125,000. I refer to your trust fund in the First Central Bank. Does this surplus represent donations from gentlemen admirers?
Well, if you let me explain...
Answer yes or no, please.
Yes.
Miss Landers, 2 months before your marriage, you were accepting similar donations. Outside checks in addition to your salary.
Your Honor.
I have the proof here.
Order.
Your husband's discovery of this formed the basis for his divorce suit. A suit which you were wise in not contesting.
I didn't want to contest it.
No, because the notoriety blazed the way for success and wealth. Overnight, you were famous. Your salary was raised. Your name went up in electric lights. And later, when your baby was born, you only had about $4. Explain that to the court.
The rest, the money that I had earned, I put in the bank for the baby, in case something happened to me.
You hid the baby, and you continued to hide him because you feared he'd prove a drawback to your career.
That's not true.
He was not permitted to live with you, to appear with you in public. You suppressed every iota of information pertaining to his existence. You pushed him out of your life, the glamorous gay life, which makes your name a daily asset to the front page and the gossip column. And why? Because he was a detriment, wasn't he?
He couldn't be.
Now let us picture this Broadway life entirely without
I
him.
couldn't live without him.
But what if the court should decide to take him from you?
How can they? He's mine.
Well, isn't that rather a selfish angle? The boy is entitled to the best of care.
He's had it. Everything that money could do for him.
Money
And love. All the love in the world.
and social background.
He's better without it.
How do you know? By permitting scandalous divorce proceedings, you deliberately left the ranks of decent...
I object, Your Honor. I object to this entire line of questioning.
Objection overruled. Mr. Darrell is endeavoring to prove his client's contention that the mother of the child is not a fit person to rear it.
Order in the court.
That is all, Your Honor. We rest our case.
Are there any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
Order.
This court is concerned only with the best interest of the disputed child in respect to the temporal, mental, and moral welfare. The ordinary procedure with a child of tender years is to award it to its mother. However, there are certain elements in this case not in accord with the usual order of things. Miss Landers, your life is your own to do with as you see fit. This court has no wish to criticize you or the way you live. But where that living may affect the future of a minor child, it becomes a matter for grave consideration. I shall, therefore, enter an order to place the child in the custody of Mr. Robert North.
No, you can't do it.
I'm sorry, Miss
You
Landry.
can't do it, I tell you. Robert North is not the baby's father.
Your Honor, this is a cheap trick. A last desperate attempt on the part of this woman. It's utterly ridiculous.
Miss Landers, let me warn you that if what you have just said is not true, you have committed perjury, which is a criminal offense.
I swear that Robert North is not the father of my child.
Order! If Robert North isn't the father of your child, who is?
I can't tell you that.
Remember, you took a solemn oath to speak the truth and nothing but the truth. Do you admit now that your previous testimony was a lie?
That isn't what I said.
Do you realize there's a severe penalty for perjury? Do you know that you can go to prison for this? Who is the father? Are you trying to make us believe it's one of the hundreds of men your name has been linked with? Is it one of the men that so kindly donated money to you? Why are you lying?
I'm not. I'm not lying.
No, then tell the court the whole truth. What is the name of your child's father? What is it?
Wait, please.
While you think of someone, who is the man? Name him. You can't.
His name is Craig Cutting.
Wow, what a statement.
This is a very serious matter. You have needlessly stigmatized your child unless you can prove what you say.
My proof is a matter of court record. When my husband divorced me 4 years ago, he named Craig Cutting as correspondent.
Your Honor, my client voluntarily returns the child to its mother and asks a dismissal of the case.
Dismissal granted.
Oh, my baby. Oh, my angel.
Don't say anything. I understand.
Please like and subscribe.